Another very important business leadership skill is the ability to delegate. Delegating means the transfer of responsibility for a task from a superior to a subordinate. The manager or the leader of the team is the one who normally makes the decision to delegate the task. However, sometimes the subordinate volunteers to take on the task or responsibility. Delegating sometimes takes place in a more informal way, as when a person already delegated the task decides to delegate that same task to someone else who is also capable of performing it. Delegating a responsibility may not always mean a transfer of the responsibility in its entirety. You, as the business leader, can delegate a responsibility to an assistant, but retains the position of guidance and review of the assistant. In such a case, autonomy over the task is not granted to the assistant. 5 delegation skills that you must possess. Number 1, the ability to communicate. As a good business leader, you need to communicate clearly when delegating roles and responsibilities. You need to explain why you are assigning the task, what the task is, and your expectations from the individual the task is being assigned to. You must be very effective in both written and oral communication skills. You must have the ability to listen for questions and clues which indicate that you are properly understood. You must address any questions and concerns that you may be faced with, and making sure that the expectations are fully understood. Number 2, follow-up. After you have delegated tasks and responsibilities to the appropriate individuals, you must do your follow-up to ensure that the business guidelines are being followed and that the tasks are being completed correctly. Every task should have a goal, and it is up to you as the business leader to ensure that all the goals are being met. The work being done should be checked periodically, not because of distrust, but because it is your job to do so. This will catch any mistakes early on and during the performance of the task. Of course, a final check must be made at the end to ascertain full compliance with the particulars of the task. You will then provide a clear feedback, giving appropriate praise on what was done well. Look for any difficulty that was encountered and provide solutions so that your subordinate can learn from your greater skills and expertise to do a better job the next time round. Number 3, time management. A good leader manages time very well. A block of time must be set aside for the performance of the task and responsibilities handed out. Then, as leader, you must take care to see that the time is being used wisely and effectively so that other duties and responsibilities can also be met in a timely manner. In the interest of time, you may need to help out with the task if you are not too busy with other important things. You should give deadlines for the segments of each task and ensure that such deadlines are met. As well, you must explain that the individual completing the task keep in mind the responsibility for proper organization and timing of that task. Number 4, choosing the right individual. When you are delegating responsibilities, ensure that the one being delegated to has the proper training and skill set needed for the task. If that is not the case, then assign the task to someone else or take time to give some training to the person assigned. As a good business leader, you must know how to efficiently train someone for the task being assigned. Number 5, being trustful. It is often the case that business leaders do not trust other people to perform a task or responsibility. This can have both beneficial and detrimental effects. It is beneficial if you display trust and confidence in the person chosen for the task, and if they already possess the right skills to perform the task assigned to them. If the person possesses the right qualification and skill set, then there is no need to be distrustful about their ability to do as requested. It can be very detrimental if the person you gave the task to is aware that you have not granted them your trust and confidence with the task you want them to perform. Nothing will adversely affect the morale of an individual in your business organization more than the awareness that you do not trust him or her. Once you delegate, then you must offer implicit trust as well. A good business leader trusts the skills of his or her subordinates and gets involved only as previously agreed or when and if needed. Trust is a very important factor when delegating responsibilities. Other very important examples that you possess delegating skills include the following. You are able to analyze tasks required to carry out a project. You can delegate employees to research and recommend options for new products and services. You are able to assess the strengths and weaknesses of employees. You are able to forecast the amount of time it will take to carry out these designated tasks. You are adept at awarding incentives and additional compensation for the one to whom new responsibilities have been given. You define and communicate expectations for results. You are able to allocate the right amount of financial resources required to carry out functions. You can determine levels of decision-making power to transfer to others. You evaluate the performance of the one whom responsibility has been transferred to. You decide on permanent job change descriptions. You can decide on roles that can be made redundant. You are a good outsourcer when necessary. You recognize and prioritize functions. You select those best suited for tasks and responsibilities. And you are able to evaluate responsibilities as it affects your business.